Flowers, clouds, sunsets, K-pop, anime. Aesthetic. Aesthetic is a branch of philosophy concerned with the nature and appreciation of art, beauty, and good taste. Aestheticians typically divide objects of aesthetic appreciation into art objects, which are human made, and objects of natural beauty. An object of aesthetic appreciation is defined as something that prompts valuable aesthetic emotions in us. The ancient Greek philosophers initially felt that aesthetically appealing objects were beautiful in and of themselves. Plato felt that beautiful objects incorporated proportion, harmony, and unity among their parts. Aristotle found that the universal elements of beauty were order, symmetry, and definiteness. According to Immanuel Kant, beauty is objective and universal. Certain things are beautiful to everyone. Philosophers who ponder why and how aesthetic objects have such a hold on us and what values they serve in our lives are known as aestheticians. And one major question that aestheticians deal with is, what actually is art? That's a pretty heavy topic, but one way of tackling it is to start with the objects that we find ourselves admiring aesthetically. Aesthetics fall into the broad category of value theory, which also includes ethics. Unlike ethics, many people think there are absolute right and wrong answers, like killing is wrong and helping people is good. And aesthetic appreciation is that kind of something you can't be wrong about. It's all just a matter of taste. The more you think about art, the more important it seems to define. So maybe it's to take another philosopher's approach and argue that the concept of art defies definition, but you know it when you see it. Hume thought that aesthetic value was objective to some extent and that we're all predisposed to find certain objects and patterns to be aesthetically pleasing. So just as we have a sense of smell, sight, and hearing, we also have a sense of aesthetic taste, an ability to detect and evaluate the aesthetic properties of an object. Hume said that some people naturally have a refined sense of aesthetic taste. Now maybe you don't agree that some of us are born with a so-called good taste or are inherently better at creating or understanding or appreciating works of art. But you might share Hume's view that the ability to appreciate things can be acquired, and that greater aesthetic appreciation can be valuable for its own sake, because it gives a pleasure and it lets you understand things about the world and other people that you might otherwise miss. And Hume said that as long as you're being honest, you can't be wrong about whether or not you like something because that's totally subjective. Now, we may each use our aesthetic taste in different ways and be better at appreciating some things more than others. Think about something you know a lot about, like a sport or a musician. When you encounter that thing, you'll notice that all sorts of nuances that other people would miss. You recognize small mistakes and you also appreciate complicated details that others might overlook. Does the value of art come from what's put into the art object by the person who created it, or does its value depend on the experience that it triggers in the audience? Some view that an artist creates as a way of communicating feelings to other people, oftentimes feelings that can't be expressed in mere words. But in some cases, the creation of art might not be about communicating at all. It might just be a way to purge overpowering emotions that are raging inside of the artist. Some thinkers argue that the intentions of the artist is really important, that the artist must want to evoke some valuable emotion in the audience for their works to be considered art. But others think an object can be art, even if it wasn't created with that intent, that art could come about accident. And this possibility raises a lot of questions too, because if an artist's intention is important in determining what art is, then that rules out the possibility that says a natural object could be art, even though it still might be an object of aesthetic appreciation. So, beauty is simply in the eye of the beholder. And what makes something art is the aesthetic emotion that it brings out in the audience. So, rather than the creation, the real key moment is when the audience encounters and is affected by an artwork.